Quilltree Books and Harper Audio present Moonleapers by Margaret Peterson Haddix, performed by Eva Kaminsky. In Memory of My Mother. Chapter 1. Maisie, is that you? Mom's voice floated down from her second-floor office as soon as Maisie pushed open the front door. Mom always asked that question when Maisie got home from school. And as always, Maisie was tempted to call back, who else would it be? Dad was away on some business trip, also, as always, and Maisie's younger brother and sister, Rufus and Dora, were in the after-school latchkey program. Only Maisie, at 12, was deemed old enough to come home on her own. For the next 3 hours, she'd have the entire house, except for Mom's office, completely to herself. It was heaven. It was the best thing about being in 6th grade. Some days, it seemed like the only good thing about being in 6th grade. But Maisie wasn't going to think about that right now. Not when she had 3 golden hours ahead of her, entirely to herself. No, Mom, it's not me. It's burglars come to steal our family treasures, Maisie called back. Just loud enough that Mom could tell she'd answered, but not so loud that Mom should be able to make out actual words. Maisie liked giving snarky answers no one could hear. Yesterday, she'd said, "It's trained assassins." And the day before that, she'd said, "It's pirates of the high seas who read their maps wrong and somehow ended up in Ohio." And both times, Mom had only hollered back, "Great, welcome home. Get a snack and do your homework, and I'll be down to hear about your day as soon as I can take a break." Mom never had time for a break. And that was quite all right with Maisie. Waiting until 6 o'clock to tell Mom about what had happened at school that day gave Maisie time to pretty the story up, to make it something that wouldn't worry anyone, to make it parent-appropriate. Anyhow, by then, Mom would probably forget to ask. Maisie stepped into the house and shut the door behind her. She dropped her backpack to the floor and listened for Mom's distracted, "Great, welcome home." But that wasn't the next sound Maisie heard. Instead, a doorknob rattled upstairs from the direction of Mom's office. Maisie stood on her tiptoes and peered past the railing that separated the cathedral ceiling of the foyer from the second-story loft and the lineup of rooms on that floor. Mom was coming out of her office. Now. 3 hours early. Mom stepped over to the railing of the second-floor loft. "Good thing we don't have any family treasures for burglars to steal," she called down to Maisie. Maisie gulped. "You heard me?" she all but whispered. "Maisie, I always listen," Mom said, which didn't really answer the question. Maisie decided not to ask if Mom had heard Maisie's other snarky answers all along, because Mom turned to the right and began descending the stairs, and it was a sight to behold. Mom was tall and elegant and willowy, and she could make stepping past the homemade basketball net Rufus and Dora had stretched across the top step, and then a few steps down, dodging the Nerf basketball itself, look as graceful as ballet. Mom was also one of those people who believed she should dress up for work, even when she was working from home. So she was wearing a crisp white linen dress. Each perfectly straightened strand of her rich dark brown hair bounced gently against her shoulders. Mom was even wearing high heels. It made Maisie remember that the elastic in her own right sock had given up the ghost in the middle of lunch, and it had sagged down into her purple.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?